Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 272. Today is Saturday, March 4th, 2023, for those of you keeping score. It's kind of late in the evening, later than I usually, well, sometimes film on Saturdays because we went to the movies today. And so, yeah, just got back and we got a piece of popcorn stuck in my teeth. It's bugging me. Anyway, this is the Gentle Cross Stitch, and we're going to get into it because I have a little bit more to show than I've had in the last few weeks, just because it's the end of February, beginning of March. I have a little bit of wrap up and stuff to show. So, one of the things for, I don't know if I had kept it, yeah, I did. For the end of February, I had a lot of things that I was doing just as far stitching was went. I had the Winter Cross Stitch Camp, Embroidery.com's I Love to Stitch, and as well as the WIPGO board pulls. So, so to meet the challenges for Cross Stitch Camp and Embroidery.com, and also for one of my new starts for WIPGO, I was doing the fox, and I don't have, excuse me 1 second, I thought I had pulled the, sorry, the finished thing here. This, you've all seen it 1,000 times. That I know I have it here. It is. The fox. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods, which was part of the Winter Cross Stitch Challenge, was part of a series. So this is the first in this 12-part series, and so I think everything on this side, the cabin and all these trees and snowflakes, whatever you call them, everything up to the fox, and then I think these up here on top of above the fox, and one over here on the side of his tail. But I'm working little by little on the fox itself. And of course, like I've said before, I'm doing this little simple border just because I want to put two on a per cloth, right? And so this is, I believe, 32 count Belgian linen, as I recall. Anyway, I believe it's 32 count, but I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, I did everything on this side of the fox. So there's the little cabin and the trees. These lighter green trees, are a little hard to see against the green of the fabric, but they're there. And I did all the, like I said, all the little white snowflake things. And I was working on the fox's tail. So, and I've finished the fox's head except for the black that goes in those empty spaces on the eyes and the ears and the nose of the fox, as well as down here on his legs. And there's, black and brown, trim that goes on the edges of that, as well as all the oranges, but I was doing the white. So that's the end. This white tip here is the end of his tail. There is, of course, I think, some of that orange, the lighter orange, edging on the tail but yeah, so this was where I got by the end of the month, and I want to, find some time to do some more work on that, but because I want to finish it eventually. So, but that was my the thing that I did for cross stitch camp, and as one of my new starts for WIPGO. Because as I've said before, I have, for each WIPGO block, I have 3 projects. I have the WIP itself, and then a new start and a finish, an FFO. So that was my new start, and then I showed the WIP and Heaven and Nature Sing. I did the 6 days, and I think I might have done a little bit more just to finish up, you know, where I was. And the same thing with my other number 11 WIPGO poll. I had finished part of most of this green on this little tree thing, but I went ahead and finished it after this. I had done the 6 days that I goal for my WIPGO, but I went ahead and I wanted to finish the green here. There's some red berries or something that go on this green tree, like where some of these stems are and things like that. But I went ahead and did this bird too. And there's like, you know, a bunch of trees here and another Quaker thing and a church and you know, more on the ships and everything, and couple more fish, and then some more water underneath. But everything from here over is done, and everything on the whale except for this diamond is done. So all of these over here, this part of the whale is done. Like I said, there's another, you know, I did this ship, so, and there's some more of the water underneath them. That's what those little cutouts on the ship are for. It's where the water will come. Yeah, so I have to put the sail in on this boat, and there's one boat goes there, one boat goes there, and then there's a couple more fish over here. So there's not too much left to go, but I don't know when I'll get back to that. So that was my February number 11. I already did the other one, and I don't know if I have the... Oops, sorry, hold on one second. Okay, this is the Monster Wonder Whale finish thing. So like I said, there's these red berry things, and there's one more little Quaker there. But everything on this side of the whale is done, except for the water across the bottom. And, you know, so then I just have to do the back end of the stuff on the whale. Just one more little diamond thing, and so all the other details there. But anyway, that's Monster Wonder Whale by Owl Force Embroidery. Okay. That was, and then for FFOs for February, I sort of semi-finished them. I did this. This is Squirrel's Night Out by the Primitive Hare. No, the Primitive Jewel. Sorry, the Primitive Jewel. So there's supposed to be cording around the edge of this, and I was going to make it, and I totally forgot. So I might go and buy this little rat tail stuff. Came with and this wooden tag thing came with as you know, as a kit, sort of, with this with the pattern for this thing for the pendant. It didn't come with the fabric or anything like that, or threads, I don't think. But just so I don't remember if I used DMC. Probably used DMC on that. But that's a little squirrel. And so, yeah, you can wear it around your neck. Like that. But so, like it said, it's supposed to have some kind of trim. And I kind of want to put it on there because I want to cover up those corners. but there's very little room, you know, here. So, yeah. I probably could have done it a little tighter, but there it is. And I put a little piece of batting underneath. I put some, excuse me, what do you call it? Interfacing, and then I put a little piece of batting that I had there, just to make it a little poofier. But it's mounted on just like a piece of thin cardboard, and then mounted onto this little wooden tag. So there's that. And then the other thing I wanted to do was these stitching with the Housewives Halloween things. There's this one that's pumpkin pile that I had this orange fabric. I don't remember if this was fabric that I bought specifically for this. I think it is. I bought these two packages of this orange fabric. I bought this one and one darker one, and then I had a couple of them in my stash or something. But I decided this one, I like the look of this one against the patterns and everything better. And I used this purple. I had some purple Rick Rack. And then this one, this is Ghoul's Garland, and this is Pumpkin Pile. And then I have Catoween Cow that I have not finished. But the three, I want to put the three of them on this little, it's a chalkboard, but it's a tombstone. You know, I bought it at the Target Dollar Spot. You know, they had a bunch of Halloween stuff. Not this past Halloween, but I think a year before that. But so my idea is that I will mount this one here and this one up here, and then Catoween Cow down here. But I didn't want to commit to where I was going to put them exactly until I finish Catoween Cow and finish it completely, so that I can put it on here with these two finishes, right? So anyway, that's the tombstone with those two pieces finished. So they're basically finished. They just need to be glued into place when I finish the Catoween Cow. And really, Catoween Cow is a pretty simple pattern. It shouldn't take long to stitch. I just don't have time to get to it. So I've done just the tiniest bit. I think I just did like 2 days, you know, worth of stitching. I think both of them during the Sticks and Strings video with my sisters last Saturday and the Saturday before that. So that's my February WIPGO stuff. So for March, I have a few different things. Let me pull this up here before I knock it on the floor again. This one of it was number 2 and number 22. So I started with number 22. Not Everything Counts. It's a piece that I designed for my brother-in-law. He works in, I guess, statistical stuff. I don't know. I've never really known what his job is exactly. But anyway, he likes this quote: "Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted." And it's by W.B. Cameron. So I just designed a simple stitch for him. So it has these little borders, and you can't really see it because it's white on white, printed off the computer. But these are little sheep, so that their bodies, are white, so they don't show up, because I didn't have the symbols and everything on there. So but so there's a peacock. You can count that, but it doesn't count. And these sheep, there's a lot of them, so you may not be able to count them all, but maybe they count. Anyway, that was my simplified idea. But So this is my number 22. I had only done one little thing on it. I had just barely started part of this maroon purpley, part of the frame. So this is what I've done so far in 3 days. And I worked on it today too, so today is the 4th day of 6 that I had allotted for this. So it has the 3 borders, and I just did like until I ran out of thread basically, and I had to use I used like a running thread here, like to show like every 10 stitches so that I could make this the right number across. And so as far as I know, it's correct. And then I just stitched down the side until I ran out of this particular piece of thread. And then, so then that made it easy to place the green one and easy to place the blue one. And except that then, in going down here, I think this is the bottom of the border of this blue. So the next stitch would be going across this way. But I'm not going to do it until I finish the words, because that'll give me, to make sure that they're all in the right place. But so I'm actually almost done with the words here, because I'm, this one, not everything that can be counted counts, and the word and goes down here. And then not everything that counts can be counted. It goes across here. So, yeah. So the words are almost finished, and that gives me, where the frame goes and that sort of thing. And then I just have to do the peacock and the sheeps. The peacock and the sheep. But this is really just as big as it is, really. So it's mostly done, and a lot of it, like I said, it's just those sheep and the peacock. I don't want to stick the needle there. Okay. So anyway, that's that one, and today, whatever stitching I do on it today, that's the 4th day. So I may be able to finish that this month, even if I go past the 6 days on it. So that's that one. And then my other whip for WIPGO, if I can get it out from underneath here, is, without knocking everything down, without having a crapalanche over here. Can't for some reason. There it is. And this was one that I worked on. When it came up in the pull, I thought, haven't I just worked on this? And I thought I just finished it. It's because it was late last year that I had it. So this is Gray Wolf. I've done this, talked about this before, from this Endangered Species booklet by Cross My Heart. And this is from 1988, so I'm sure it's no longer in print, but so it has all these lovely animals. There's a mountain lion and some cheetahs and an eagle and swans. Those are really pretty. A hawk of some kind. Some puffins are really cute. A polar bear and a gray wolf. So I'm doing the gray wolf, and as I've shown it before, it's full coverage basically. I've got most of this oval, done, but it's all just, it's all different shades of gray. So yeah. So, and I have only 6 days listed on my goal for it. I think, yeah, just 6 days. And I don't know how far I'll get on that, because it's, but it always takes me a while to sort of find my place and find out where I am on that, so I can work on it. So, but that's the challenge of WIPGO. So then my FFOs for March, my number 2 is Eeyore and bees. And you know, this is a Disney design, excuse me, that I think they've used several, the designs that they have, like the Winnie the Pooh designs, they've used them in different permutations, basically the same design. This Eeyore and the Bees, I cut this out of I guess it was a kit or something, but I cut down the front card of the thing a long time ago, so just because, I don't know, I like to put it in a smaller bag or something. But so I made a little mistake somewhere down in here. I think I added some stitches, or, you know, did something weird, but you really can't tell on there. It's somewhere in here, you know. But so I finished this a long time ago. I started it a long time ago, and then like finished it just in recent, in the last few years. But then it just languished in my, you know, to be FFO'd pile. But so those little bees, is finished, and I bought at Hobby Lobby. No, yeah, the other day I bought these little bee buttons. They're little shank buttons. But I figured I'll put, you know, maybe one or two on this design just for fun, you know, when I FFO it, because that's just one of my FFOs for this for the month of March. The other one I want to FFO is this one by the Drawn Thread, the little freebie from the Drawn Thread called Four Fat Friends. And, you know, I had printed it off of their website, I guess, and had it for a long time. I had started it. I think the pattern calls for fancy flosses, and it kind of hung me up a little bit. And I don't remember if I used the DMC conversion, because this was in the days when I really had not really gotten into using overdyes, and but I think it's one. I don't know if I stitched. I think it's stitched with 2 threads, except for like there's just some, 1 thread back stitching in the legs and the beaks of the birds, and I think everything else is 2/2. And this is, I want to say it's 32, but I don't know if it's 32 or 28. I think it's this coffee tea dyed linen, but this is my other FFO for, this is number 22, I guess. Yeah. And I'm probably gonna do a little pillow out of that. I haven't decided yet, but that's my other FFO for this month. And then for my new starts, I wasn't really sure if I thought, well, I could do the Swans, which is the number 2 of the Year in the Woods from Cottage Garden Samplings. But then I thought, well, in order to really do that in the correct place, I'd have to finish the fox and then finish the border around it, and then put in the Swans. And so I didn't want to complicate it. I wanted to go ahead and just get started. So for my 2 new starts, one for the number 2 and one for number 22, these are both Silver Creek Samplers patterns. One is Lost and Found. This is the one that was lost and then was found. I had considered it and taken it out and done all the math on the the stitch count and what size of fabric I would need and blah blah blah. And then I promptly lost it, and it was, I made a mistake and put it away. It was in my stash of to be stitched patterns, But so this is Lost and Found. This is a pretty little sheep on the hillside there of grass. from 2020, according to the pattern, by Diane Grick of Silver Creek Samplers. And the verse, the text says, I'm a lost sheep, gone astray. Shepherd, find me, this I pray. Oh, shepherd, listen to my prayer and keep me in thy loving care. Just really, really love that. It's a pretty little sheep. And then this is another Silver Creek Samplers. Pardon me for not taking it out of the bag. But this is Give Greatly. Your greatness is not in what you have, but what you give. And there's a little bunny giving the carrot nose to the snowman. He's got another carrot there on his sled. And that's just so adorable. I love his little hat and the bunny's little sweater and this little scarf. It's just adorable. And then here, these are buttons, but they also have the snowflakes are charted. So you can do either buttons like that or stitch the snowflakes. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. But they're all DMC colors that are called for. Yeah, they're just DMC colors on the called for list. And the fabrics I am going to do them on. One is blue and one is green. They're both, I think they're the same size. And I want to say they're 32, but maybe they're smaller than that. It's linen. It looks like it's smaller than 32. I don't know. We'll see. But they're like not real huge, but I think the patterns will fit on there. I was, doing the math with my cross stitch calculator from Yarn Tree. So I think those both fit on there. So those are my new starts for March. And let me miss here. Sorry. Pile. And I had mentioned that my sister and I had gone to Hobby Lobby. Part of it was that when I was kitting up those new starts, I went through all my DMC threads, and except for what threads might be in other projects, I went through and was looking for the colors for those new starts to kit them up. And so there were a few threads that I couldn't find. And so I was going to Hobby Lobby to get those. And then actually there are two. One of them, they didn't even have a bin for it. And I want to say it is... There was one that didn't have a bin, and the other one the bin was empty. And I don't remember which was which. But I think it was 3052 that they did not... No, it was 382, I think. 382 was one that they just didn't have a bin for. And 3052, I think, was just empty. Something like that. But otherwise, So I don't know. I want to look at my... I have one of those little cardboard, DMC cards. So I want to see what the colors are and see, just, pick something similar. Because I have actually, like the numbers on either side of them, 3051, 3053, whatever, something like that. And the same thing with the 382, I think I have colors close to it or whatever. But with that card, I can look and see what the colors are and find something similar that I can use. So I'm going to do that, I think. And but while I was there looking, I bought another pair of scissors because I have a disease apparently. But this I'm going to put. I want to put those two new starts, in a project bag together, I think, and yeah, put that in there. And then I bought some fabric. I think this is just even weave. It doesn't really say. Yeah, it says even weave. It's 28 count even weave, and there are I just blue, ivory, and white colors there, and I'll probably, except for maybe the blue, I'll probably dye them a little bit. Maybe the ivory, but it's 28 count, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to use it for. But it was inexpensive. It was $5.99 for 14 by 18, I think. I mean 14 by 18 sizes. So, but so yeah, I have some several colors, several pieces of just completely white linen and other type of materials. So I haven't dyed in a while, so I'll probably dye some fabric for those. But I think that is about it. I have, like I said, my March plans ahead of me, and I've done 4 days on the one Not Everything Counts project, so I want to do the 2 more days on it and see how far I can get. And if I'm close to finish, I may just put in the extra time to finish that off, just so it'll be done. And I don't know when I'm FFO it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll FFO at the same time that I do the other FFO projects, so that I can get them all done at the same time. We'll see. It just depends on how far I get on theirs. And then the Gray Wolf, I'm just gonna have to buckle down and get that. And then also on Monday, I ordered some stuff from Nashville this past Monday. I had thought about it, and there was one piece that was a market exclusive by, I want to say, Silver Creek Samplers, I think. No, Plum Street. I think I had seen it a few days ago, called This I Know. It's the companion, sort of a companion piece to the one with the pink house. This is the Day, I think it's called. But this one is Jesus Loves Me, This I Know is the text on it. And it's a little church. It's a little pink brick on the church. But it's it's really pretty. And I was wanting to do it for my cousin. And so I had thought about, I saw that as a market exclusive, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to place that order, and then I kind of hemmed and hawed and didn't get around to it. And the deadline for a lot of the places that were doing pre-orders for market, the deadlines were like Thursday or Friday or whatever, the 23rd, 24th, something like that. And but then I was watching Pam and Steph Just Keep Stitching on Sunday, and Stephanie was talking about how she does all the ordering and stuff like that, and she was talking about how the deadline for their orders was Monday the 25th. Is that right? The 25th, the 26th, whatever, that Monday, and the 27th. I don't know, whatever day Monday was. And so I thought, oh. So Monday morning I went through and I scribbled down a bunch of things that I, market pieces that I kind of wanted. And then, I sort of like said, well, okay, I like this one, but I'm going to eliminate it just to because I don't want to, blow $1 bazillion on it. And the things that are featured at market are going to be eventually, in the local needlework shop, eventually. They're just a lot of their new, spring releases. So it's not really crucial that I get them, beforehand. But I did want to make a note of which ones I liked and all that. And but I wanted to order this, I know for sure. So finally, about what would have been 4:15 Cincinnati time, I called Keepsakes, because like every place else, when I looked online, various other websites, their deadlines were like 23rd, 24th, 25th, something like that. Friday, at the latest, I think was the latest date I saw for most of them. And when I was looking at Keepsakes, um, on their website, the deadline was something like the 24th also. And so I thought, I thought Stephanie had said that Monday was the Monday at 5 their time was the deadline. So like I said, I called Keepsakes, and there was Stephanie on the line. And so I said, is it my understanding that that today is the deadline, that I have until 5 o'clock today? And she said, yes, you do. So I went ahead and ordered a couple of pieces, and then she said, well, you have about 45 minutes if you want to add anything to your order. And so I went through it again and double checked, and sure enough, a few minutes later, about 4:45 their time, I called back and said, I want to add a couple more things to my order. So I did spend some money on some Nashville pre-orders, and so they should be getting back to town Monday, I guess. And it'll be a few days before they fill those orders and get them shipped out and all that kind of stuff. But so I'm anticipating a few things from Market. So excited, because I don't think I've ever like done any pre-orders or anything like that for Market. I've there are several new releases that look really good. But I want to make sure that I don't make the mistake that I made before. And I talked about doing this, and I just haven't done it because it's a slow slog, and it's logistically one of those things that I have to sit down and make a note of all the stuff. And they're all the patterns that are in my punch needle and primitive stitcher magazines, because those like I said, I've said before that after a year, they are, free of the copyright issue, to be released to the public, I guess, after they've, been in the magazine, after a year after they've been in the magazine. Which is how I ended up ordering Santa's Young Buck, even though it was in my magazine and I already have it. So, so I wanted to go through and do all that. I just haven't done it yet because it's a, a slog, because I have a whole bunch of these magazines. But I want to make sure that that I like. I that's why I kind of got a little cold feet when I was going through all the patterns that I wanted from Market. Going, okay, are these new releases or new designs or whatever? Do I already have them somewhere? But I did order. There's one called that is the way I understand it's a Market exclusive, but I didn't realize it when I was ordering it. I just saw it online and I grabbed it, and I didn't see whether or not it was a Market exclusive. I didn't notice that on the website, but it's called Karma Chameleon by Tiny Modernist, and it's really cute. There are I think there are four or five designs in that. There's a crab and the chameleon and something else. I think two other patterns that are part of that are all Market exclusives, I think. I saw them after I had placed my order. So the other things were really cute too. When I was looking at Tiny Modernist's new releases, I just was like very tempted to get all of them in that series, but in the end I just got Karma Chameleon because I just really liked it. It has a bright green chameleon on there, and it's just really cute. So I went ahead and got just that one. But So I'm actually kind of excited to, maybe see those eventually in the at the attic, uh, soon, sometime soon. But anyway, that I think is it. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm pretty except for all those sheep and everything. And all of the long lots of stitching on the borders. Um, I'm doing pretty good on the one everything counts, not everything counts pattern. Anyway, so I think that's it for this week, and yeah, I'll let you know what my progress is, how I'm doing next week, and I think that's it. So until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye bye.